Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the episode of the Understand Podcast with your host, Enzo458. We got one guest on today. His name is?
Danny Gilbert.
All right. Danny and I play football together. And so today we're just, actually, if you believe it or not, we are sitting on top of a locker. We're bored. We're bored right now. We're just chilling, waiting to set up for a powerlifting meet we have to do tomorrow. So we're both just chilling here. We both want to talk about football, so we're talking about some football real quick. All right, so a couple topics here. First, I'm gonna talk about Lions cutting Snacks Harrison. What's your honest opinion when you hear that?
Oh my gosh, bro. Damon Harrison was the beast. He was the beast of the team. He led the defense out there. Like every drive, he stopped the run. It is so upsetting to me. He was my favorite player by far.
I don't know. I like Damon Harrison a lot, but here's the thing. Here's the tough reality. He wanted a big contract, and I think we gave it to him. Even like 2-year contract extension with some pretty good money. We're freeing up $6.7, I believe, million in cap space. But Damon Harrison, without a doubt, veteran leader, veteran presence in the locker room. Last year, playing on an injured groin, Danny and I both played defensive line, and I've played with injured groin before. That's awful. Trying to get out of the stance is absolutely awful. And when you're like 340 pounds, like Damon Harrison is, trying to explode out of your stance with a pulled groin probably sucks. And he played it the entire season. He played as well as he did. Just says how well he played. So, I don't know. It's tough, but honestly, he's getting old. I thought he was going to retire maybe. There's a lot of rumors about him retiring. Lions cutting him. I don't know if he's going to retire now or go back to the Giants. We don't know what's going to happen. But Damon Harrison, no longer a Detroit Lion. My prediction is they're going to go out and try and sign a guy like Javon Hargrave to the roster, possibly. Free agency, or draft a guy like Derek Brown at number 3 or 5 if they trade back to the Dolphins. I don't know, it sucks, but that's my honest opinion about it. Dan put our honest opinions out there about it. We're going to go on to the next topic now. All right, so next topic, we're talking about Greg Olsen signing a 1-year contract. Was it 1-year contract with the Seattle Seahawks?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about that?
Oh, that's crazy. Panthers are taking a turn for the worse, man. They're what? Have they lost Cam Newton yet?
No, not yet, but it sounds like he's going to leave at some point.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to be this offseason, but definitely next year, I'd say, because I think they're going to draft a QB.
What else? Who else they lose?
They
lost Luke Kuechly,
Luke Kuechly retired.
Because he retired, yeah.
So,
that's tough. So the whole team's just going to shit now. All they have is McCaffrey. And, I don't know, man. It's not looking too good. And then Greg Olsen was like, man, I don't know if I want to play. And then Seattle's like, yeah, please come. He's like, yeah, all right.
They mutually agreed to part ways, I'm pretty sure, Greg Olsen and the Carolina Panthers, which basically either Greg Olsen's way of saying, I want out, and the Panthers don't want to look bad, or the Panthers cutting Greg Olsen, he doesn't want to look bad. I'm guessing it's more of a Panthers wanting to cut ties with Greg Olsen just due to the fact they're trying to get younger. I think they're in a slight rebuild. They're getting a lot of older players. But with Matt Rule as the head coach, I don't think they want to do a complete 180, 360, we're going to call it, to do a full rebuild. But they're definitely trying to get younger at some positions. I believe that they think Ian Thomas, the guy that drafted a couple years ago out of Indiana, is the next guy. It's a big loss to Panthers because when he was healthy, he's one of the best tight ends in football, but he's also pretty old. For Seattle, you really have nothing to lose at this point. You're a team that went to the playoffs last year, as injured as you were at a lot of different positions and played as well as you did. You add a good tight end in that tight end room, and you already had Hollister and then somebody else who also got hurt. Man, but if you add that Greg Olsen in the tight end room, you have a guy who can help groom your 2 young tight ends, and you have a guy who at least a year can contribute some solid stats. I'm sorry, I haven't recorded a podcast in almost a month. So, but you just have a guy who can contribute, and a guy who can be a veteran presence in the locker room. So that's a pretty big ad for Seattle, if you ask me. I think they definitely won that side of the deal because Carolina looks bad for losing a guy like Greg Olsen, but Seattle looks like geniuses right now because they're already a playoff contender, adding another really solid veteran player. Danny's going to announce our next topic.
All right. There's rumors going on. There could be 17 off-season games. Oh, no.
NFL season games. I'm pretty sure. All right, let the podcast take care of this for a second. All right, there's rumors. What Danny's trying to say is there's rumors about them voting on 17 games, then removing the preseason, right?
In the regular season, yeah.
Yeah, and then removing the preseason altogether and making 2 games.
They make it, I think they do 3 games in the preseason.
And then 17 regular season?
Yeah.
You can't quote us on this stuff. I'm just I just heard about this today. That they were going to try. I knew that they were going to vote on it. I don't know exactly if it's going to pass or not. But if that passes, that's a pretty big change. If you think about it, using a preseason game or 2 and adding one on in the regular season.
That's true.
Would that make it an 18-week season then? Because you need to have a bye week.
Yeah.
Probably 18-week season.
I think they might add another bye week in there. I'm not for sure. But also, it doesn't make too much of a difference if you think about it, though, because the last preseason game is when they actually start to put in the starters. And so, I know they're talked about like, oh, that's more of a chance to get hurt and stuff, but like in reality, you're still like
you need those reps though. You need those reps. Those
And,
live game reps, they don't really matter.
Although you would have like played not all 4 quarters in the 4th preseason game, you're basically.
All right, guys, so we're back. We were on top of the lockers, and my friend walked in. I know it was my friend though, and it scared the crap out of me, so we jumped off the lockers. This all happened before you walked in here. It was scary as hell. All right, so Danny and I are going to finish up our thoughts on the 17-game regular NFL season, plus I believe 2 or 3 game preseason. So Danny gave his opinion. I'm going to finish up mine. I think that adding a game isn't a huge deal, but taking away preseason games, as unpopular of opinion as this is, I know preseason games can be boring to watch, like as a fan, but as a team, on like the team's note, it really does help in terms of evaluating players, and losing that 2 games of full like live games, it's going to be tough on teams for evaluating young players trying to earn roster spots. But honestly, I think you'll see more of that. I think at this point, if you remove preseason time, I could see more young players choosing the XFL over the NFL. Because of the fact that it's almost like a 10-game preseason, if you think about it. A lot of these guys like Philip Walker and all these other guys, and that's a podcast another day to go in depth in the XFL. But guys like him, they're going to be on NFL teams next year.
That's facts.
Like Philip Walker has been the best quarterback in the XFL, hands down. And how success of guys like Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, those kind of mobile quarterbacks who can throw. I'm not saying Philip Walker's an NFL starting quarterback, but he's at least a backup quarterback for a team like Arizona. He fits their scheme. And so I think you'll see more guys transition out of like an NFL roster into an XFL roster. Like if you see a guy make the practice squad, he might turn it down and go to the XFL. Wouldn't be surprised if that started happening. But that's a lot of complicated stuff. But that's my overall opinion on that matter. I think that 17-game regular season isn't awful, but I think taking away 2 preseason games would be hard on teams for evaluation purposes.
You just gotta think about like one thing to think about is like contracts and stuff, because I feel like with the addition of 1 game, players are gonna demand more money for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I agree. All right, so we have our final 2 topics to talk about. My bad. It's been about a month. This is the most interesting thing in my opinion. The NFL considering possibly ending marijuana suspensions.
Josh Gordon be pleased.
Josh Gordon would definitely come back. I don't argue this at all, honestly, because almost every single NFL player does it. It just doesn't get caught all the time. And honestly, like losing the marijuana suspensions for at least like teams in like places where it's legal, I think that'd be good. All right, so for at least places like Michigan and Colorado and all these places where marijuana is legalized, it needs to be ended because it's legal. You shouldn't get penalized for it. And really, with all the crap that NFL players have to put up with, marijuana is way less harmful to you than like all the other pain meds I feel like they get shoveled down their throat. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but it's a fact. I mean, talk to any ex-NFL player, all the stuff they have to take for their pain. Marijuana, I feel like, is the more natural, safer way to do it. Am I advocating for marijuana? Not at all. But I'm saying for the NFL's purpose of suspensions and stuff, 4-game suspension seems like a lot to be caught one time with weed. That's just my thing. So Danny, add in your opinion to that. This is the final topic of the episode. It's been a good episode, Danny. But Danny, finish her off.
I don't know, man. I mean, weed's pretty scary if you ask me. And like the fact that they legalize it in the NFL. Like I'm not saying they shouldn't not legalize it, but just think about it. All these NFL players are role models, yeah? And so if they just post on their Instagram them smoking a joint, and then the little 8-year-olds...
I'm not advocating for that.
But you see a little 8-year-olds and stuff looking at that. It's like, yeah, bro, look, he's cool, he smokes. It'll just be like back in the olden days with Camel Joe and stuff again. That's all I'm saying.
Camel Joe. All right. Sorry, guys. We have a little bit of studio audience today.
Be honest though. Is Camel Joe not the coolest motherfucker you know?
Danny. All right, guys. That's it. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Undercenter Podcast. Have a little bit of studio audience here. They were supposed to shut up, but they didn't. It's fine. It was cool. Had a fun time. This is my first time in front of a live audience ever, so that's pretty chill.
No script, you know.
No script. That's facts. That's facts, bro. Shut up, bro. Okay, I usually make a script, or at least an outline for these podcasts. The fact that we both just went off nothing, off just our domes. You know what I mean? So that's crazy to think about. And yeah, it was a fun podcast. Thank you for listening, watching, whatever you're doing with this video.
Hey.
Follow the SoundCloud.
You beautiful ladies and gentlemen out there, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Shout out _cool_kicks_.
Shut up, man.
Amen.
No free brand deals. Nah, I'm kidding. Go follow his Instagram. What's the at?
_cool_ no, what is it? _custom_kicks_.
Is it like a K or with the C?
Yeah, it's K.
Hey, he'll put it in the link.
Yeah, I'll put it in the bio. I'll put it on my Instagram, Enzo408. Go follow me there. Thank you guys for listening, watching, viewing, whatever you're doing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.